Hello everyone, this is Aeroica, and thank you for joining me for another video. Sharpen those reflexes and bring mad deeps, because the twin Largos fight is a DPS and skill check. While it can be challenging at times, with good teamwork and everyone doing their part, this fight can be fun. In this video guide, I will show you what you can expect so you can be prepared to get your feet wet with some experience. Just don't get them literally wet in the raid. That would be bad. Please note that the purpose of this guide is to give you an overview of the fight, show you the mechanics that you'll encounter, and in some cases how to handle them. I will not discuss individual profession skills or abilities, as that is outside the scope of this video. However, where applicable, some general recommendations may be made. This raid arena is a little unique when compared to most other raid fields, but it is fairly straightforward. When you enter the raid arena, you will start off on a runway at the south end of the room. The walkway terminates before a floating platform with several other floating platforms near the north end. The first part of the fight starts on this platform, where you will take on the first of the two twins, Nikare, who needs to be DPS to 50% within 2 minutes. Condition damage classes excel at this fight, and Mirage is preferred for this role. Nikare can be tanked either in the middle of the platform or on the north edge. I prefer the north edge, and the reason should become apparent as we continue. During this phase, you will encounter 4 mechanics specific to Nikare. The first is Aquatic Detainment, which places a small circle under the player's feet and will place the player in a bubble that causes damage. This is easily avoidable by simply walking out of this AoE circle or dodging to a safe location. However, stun breaks do work in breaking the bubble, but this does mean the loss of some other ability that might be more beneficial to the raid. The second mechanic is Geyser, a double circle AoE that does damage and will knock back a player, which could potentially send them off the platform. Again, this can be negated by dodging, however blocking and stability also works to prevent the knockback. The third mechanic is Tidal Pool, where a random player, except for the tank, will get a swirl marker placed over their head. When selected, that player has 5 seconds to move to a safe location to drop an expanding damage AoE on the ground. The AoE will expand and can at times take up large amounts of platform real estate. Placement is critical so that you don't allow the entire platform to become covered. Strategic placement can be achieved by bringing them next to each other so that they can overlap. The final mechanic is Vapor Rush, where Nikare will rush towards a player and then back to the tank 3 times. If you're in the path of travel, you will take a high amount of damage, which, when combined with other mechanics, can easily down you. You can avoid this by dodging out of the way every time he comes in your direction. If you are knocked off the platform, you can quickly swim to a fountain and glide back up. Be mindful of where you land so you don't take unnecessary damage. The longer you stay in the water, the more stacks of a debuff called Waterlogged will build, 10 stacks of which will instantly kill you. The Waterlogged debuff also increases damage by a raid-wide mechanic called Aquatic Aura, which does tick damage that cannot be avoided or negated. As mentioned earlier, this fight is a DPS check, so in addition to the mechanics noted earlier, the platform that a fight is occurring on is always descending towards the water. Failure to DPS in time will cause the platform to be flooded, where the waterlogged debuff will become an issue. Once at 50%, the raid glides off the north edge of the platform to the next one, where you will now DPS the second twin, Kenut, to 50% as well. Once on this platform, 4 new mechanics are introduced. The first mechanic you will immediately notice are 3 large water tornadoes, which will do both damage and apply the waterlogged debuff for each second you are caught in them. They can be dodged or blocked, but are otherwise fairly avoidable due to their pattern. The second mechanic is called Sea Swell, which is a knockback attack that pulses out from Kenut. It is telegraphed by a reddish gold ring, which indicates that the attack is coming. Approximately 1 second after the ring, a water ring will quickly emanate from the boss, and anyone caught in it will endure a knockback, as well as providing the boss with 3 seconds of protection. The knockback has a fairly long range and can easily take you off the platform if you fail to avoid it. This can be done by simply jumping over the water ring or dodging it. The third mechanic is called Vapor Jet, where Kenut will stealth out of the fight and port to the furthest player. A square AoE is placed on the ground, and any player caught in it will have their buff stripped from them and transferred to the boss. For this reason, boon stripping is critical to prevent excess damage. The fourth mechanic is called Cyclone Burst, which places 3 different sized AoE circles on the ground, which if caught in them will do damage. You can easily sidestep or dodge out of them, but you should know that once the AoE is expired, she will immediately cast the same attack again, but will have rotated them to a different degree. This means that you will need to be prepared to dodge again so you can avoid out of them. Again, the platform is sinking, and this is a race against the clock. Once Kenut is at 50%, the raid will need to split into 2 groups, which should have already been organized by the raid leader. Each group will need a tank, a healer, and 3 DPS. The group going to the northwest or left will fight Nikare, and the group going to the northeast or right will fight Kenut. Each boss will be at 50% as you left them earlier, and you have 2 minutes to bring them to 25%. Failure to do so will result in a raid wipe. The mechanics for each platform are respective to the twin you are fighting and are essentially the same as noted earlier. The only difference now is the addition of a CC phase, which needs to be performed to stop an AoE attack that will cause group-wide damage. The twin you are fighting will move to the center of their platform and begin sending out water bombs, and successfully breaking the CC bar will stop the attack. The other base mechanics for the respective twin will still be in play while this is occurring. When the group has gotten their assigned twin to 25%, there will be another platform jump directly to the north of the platform you are on. It is here that you have 2 minutes to DPS the boss to 0%. Again, the mechanics are the same as the platform you just left, except for the addition of a debuff that stacks every 3 seconds, allowing the boss to do more damage per stack. If your group kills their assigned twin before the other group kills theirs, the remaining boss will enrage and damage from that twin will increase 200%. If possible, twins should be killed together, however this cannot always be performed. Thus, if your group makes a kill first, they should utilize the fountains to glide over to the platform where the remaining twin exists and help them make the kill. This is definitely one fight where the loss of one raid member will more than likely result in a wipe, so you have to bring your A game, but don't be afraid to try it out. Like anything, practice makes perfect. Talk to other players who raid in the same class you do and find out what you can do to increase your DPS, heal better, or use a different tanking strategy so you can help the raid as a whole, not just what's comfortable for you. Make use of the training golem, try to perfect rotations, and really understand how your spec is built. All of these things collectively will give you a better understanding of not only what your class is capable of, but how you can achieve it for yourself. Good luck and happy raiding!